I'm Iyanifa Shondra Cheris. I practice the iwúre, a Shay tradition commonly known as Ifa. And I'm going to talk about your Ori. Let me say hello to the Ifa family, the people who have been watching, learning, and staying up with me even when I disappear for long periods of time. So, peace, Ladria. Peace, John. Good to see you. Thank you for the likes because you know I appreciate the click on. In a few minutes, I'll add my beads so people think I'm extra special because you know you're not real if you don't have no beads on. Thing is, I've had to tell some people recently just because you see people with beads on, don't think they're with us. So I had to tell that to our family in Nigeria. The people that we call family are like the staff and stuff that we meet at the hotels and things that we do in restaurants. And there's a lot of things that we do on the back end that we make sure they know it came from an ile because that's what's important, that representation. A peace, rain. I like your little ad telling people go to your YouTube channel. YouTube people, rain and roots, sprays and skin stuff. Peace, Auntie. I hope the transition to your position has been interesting. Hey, Aboye Bosheshe Abaato, Iya Vivian. I was just talking about you to my parents because we were talking about Jason. I let them see the pictures, okay? For those of you all that don't know, I am traveling, which is why I've been off of here. Literally got back, was sick, stay sick some more. Just recently started sounding like myself. And then I traveled, peace travel bay, to be with my parents and to also help take care of some business. So again, I'll put on my beads so people can feel special, you know, that you got the beads on. Now, this topic we have talked about before at length and nauseum, I thought. However, comma, the calls that I've been getting and the way people have been able to get consultations while I'm off or gone ain't nothing but a load of Mari. And I want to thank them. Peace, divine freedom. I want to thank them for allowing me to change their schedule because if it said that they booked at a particular time, I would like call them and say, can I change the time? And then also, just so you all know, Marche had a surgery again. So I asked for you all to keep lifting her up in Iwuri, i.e. prayer. Come on, we sound like the church people in the back. Praise the Lord, Mary. Peace, Chandler. Good to see you. We okay, name. All right. I see the pictures, so I know. Okay. So we'll have to continue to do that. Plus, all the rest of the E5 family. For those of you all who have written me and sent me messages on different platforms, because you haven't necessarily booked a consultation, no shade, but you know how to reach me because I make it so you reach me that way. Peace, Aletha. Good to see you. When you ask me to pray for you, I do that. Even in our Ebo today, I make sure I pray for all of you all. And today, when I wrote what this was going to be about, I asked that Olodumare guide those people, Olodumare, for those of you new, God, okay, source, the all, everything, okay? Guide people who need to hear this, here to hear it, and I hope it resonates with them. Doesn't mean they need to jump off a ship and come follow us to Isheshe. It just means that they needed to hear that message at that moment. And I hope it heals and helps them. Now, the last 2 days, the energies have been interesting because I haven't had them doing much of anything to me lately, except for when I'm talking in consultations in the last 2 days. So this is the first time in a long time that my voice has started cracking and all the things. So I know this is about to be on fire. Now, I'm going to try to keep it 30 minutes because you know y'all don't have no patience to sit and listen to me, except for my people that seem to work night jobs and they also seem to like, hey, seem to, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by our new Baba Soft Life. Hello, Baba Lao, Reggie, Arboro, Boye, Baba. Okay, so let me focus. And hi, Lamella, good to see you. For those who are like, hey, what do I do? How do I do it? And when I talk to them and I hear their like concerns, it all aligns around the same thing. So every consultation that I've had, and this is outside of an IFA consultation, okay? This is specifically people that want spiritual advice or they found me through someone else's platform and they want to have a conversation and they need help changing some of the word I want to use is gateways of their life. Okay? I am not going to say I'm a guru or all knowing or all of those things. What I am is I'm a human being who has had life lessons and also helped others through life lessons. And through that, with the guidance of Ifa and the knowledge that I have with all the Irumile and the Risha, able to help you and hopefully things resonate with you in order for you to move forward. Now, I'm going to talk about your Ori because we talk about it all the time, but I realize we talk about it all the time on the Talk a Tick, and I've mentioned it a couple of times here. Excuse me, respectfully, I've mentioned your Ori. I'm not going to refer to an energy as it because it's disrespectful, and let me explain why. Your Ori is an essence of yourself. Therefore, I will refer to the energies in their human form or how we would do normally to anyone else that exists. See, my voice cracking already. So that's what I'm going to do. Ah, hello, peace. I know exactly who you are because I saw it come through. No, you don't have to get in consultation first at all. And because the list is small, we plan on having yours done soon, hopefully right after this major holiday right now. But nope, as soon as I saw your name, and I saw it because I was like, look at this. These people coming in at the last minute for the end of the year. No, I'm just playing. It'll actually be your for your new year and what's to come. So congratulations. You're fine. That's something that's interesting. Let me know, and y'all gonna see this alma mater. Okay, we're gonna make the family proud. Okay. Let me know if you have had to have a divination before or a consultation before a divination before, because I've had people asking me that a lot right now. You all may not see me online, but trust me, we're always working. A burro, a boye, a bosheshe, a baato, ia regina. Come on, all the ias. Yes, SCSU. Okay, slip slowly. Okay, all right. Want to know where I went to school? There. Me, my brothers, my father. Okay. Want to go check and see if I was the same person there? Go ahead and call them. Go ahead and Google Ia. So you can see what I look like with a triangle cut. I think, was I faded by the time I got up? No. Okay, let me focus. It's my first time doing it. Okay, yeah. Some people, they've had to have one done beforehand. I think that's just another way to get money out of people, truth be told. But you don't have to. When people consult with me beforehand, peace, hell, it's good to see you. Thank you for saying like the live. When people consult with me beforehand, it is because there's something else that they need understanding on and not necessarily something they need to do before a divination. But I try to make it really clear and succinct that people know that I'm operating from a space of you talking to intuitive Iyanifa Shondra, right? Life coach Shondra, before you're talking to Iya Chandra doing Isheshe when you book a consultation. You get to decide what your conversation is going to be about. And as the spirit leads me, let the church say Ashe. Okay, come on, Ile, Ashe. All right, that's how I answer you, okay, as an individual. Then, when it's above, not even my pay grade, when it's above my intuition level, we we take it to Ifa. And I don't always, just because you talk to me on the phone, and I have people talk to me for business stuff as well. Peace, Latasha. Good to see you. I don't always tell them, oh, you need to get a divination or you need to have a dafa. That's not how I operate. I don't always send people when things are going a disarray for them over and say, oh, get a divination. It takes a minute. It's just hard not to try to save everybody. If they feel it and they ask about it, then I answer. But my consultations are not to lead you somewhere else to pay more money. Matter of fact, I have somebody who has to send me, and I hope she watches this video. Yes, ma'am, you has to send me an email because she received the email after booking every 2 weeks to let me know her progress on homework that I gave her to do. And some people would pay for that, right? But I don't need her to pay. I just want to know that she's doing the work, keeping her accountable, and whether I told her whether I respond or not, send it to me, CC my assistant, and then that way, if I miss it, she'll say, "Did you check on this or did you see this?" Oh, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. And when I saw your name, I said, "Okay, all right, I saw." So thank you. All right, let's get into this Ori thing, okay? And to my ears and the Baba, it's so weird to say that. It's so weird to say Baba. Um, I'm coming after the new year with a lesson, and Baba Reggie is waiting on me so he could do his interview so that you all can see it. Oh, boy, yeah, boy, Shay, Agba Ato, Ia Naomi. Okay? Good to see you. All right. I talk about this on Talkative, and people seem to miss it all the time and not understanding. By the way, I only threw on my beads just to be shady because you know you're not real if you don't have no beads on. Okay. So, and I've had to mention this as reoccurring theme. Peace, Emmanuel. How have you been in your escapades? That's how I'm gonna say it. I don't want to say the other word. And all the things that you've been doing. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Focusing. Uh, I talk about this all the time about your Ori and your higher self. And I think some people are missing some of the guidance in that. And the EIs on the back, and especially during their initiation process, they've learned some different aspects of Ori. I don't share them all here, but there's a part that I'd like to impart on you. And it's why I don't consider the Ori to be an oversoul. And I'll explain. Okay? But it's becoming, and I know y'all want me to get into Egg Bay and all that other stuff, but Egg Bay, those entities themselves have their own aspects that people keep misconstruing. And I think part of the issue with people wanting to know their head Orisha and all of those things, and Egg Bay is not an Orisha, mind blown. Egg Bay is an Irumule with an I, okay? So when I try to speak about this, I'm trying to meet you all where you are. And Ifa also is very simplified. It's us as humans that try to make Ifa, I don't want to say grand because this practice, this tradition is grand. It's grand because of the healing you do in yourself. And some people will call that shadow work. But Ifa is not shadow work. Ifa is beyond that. Ifa is, or Ishe as a whole, is elevating your frequency. And y'all hear me mention that through those that have been following me. If you haven't seen my content, you should pay attention because I talk about it all the time. Is elevating your frequency, which doesn't always necessarily mean that you aren't enough. Do you need extra help with the levels in your frequency throughout your life? Yes. But are you not powerful by yourself? You absolutely are. And my issue is everybody always wants to know their head, not realizing that those stories attached to the Irumule or Orisha that's told to guide you the most, those particular stories, look, my voice is changing. They're coming. Those particular stories relate to your life as a whole. Those stories are what we call the Odu. The other part of that that you all may not know is Odu is an actual energy. Mind blown. But you won't hear us speak about that in that much detail. Odu is not just what you receive, like in your divination or your dafa. Odu is an energy all by herself. Did you hear me? I want somebody in the back to repeat what I just said. Type it in the comment. Who's an energy all by themselves? Okay. And what did I say? All by who by itself? Her? Okay. So when people were like, "Oh, you can't have power and Ishe and it's always the Babas," you on the wrong thing. Yes. Oh, do. Okay. Oh, thank you. So I need you to be aware of that. And when you look at that, and people want to talk about power, and they always want to jump to the first one that I hear every single time. I want y'all to guess. Put in the comments what's the first one I hear about when people come to us, who they want to jump to. The first one I have a connection with who? This is going to be great. I hope somebody later types this. Correct. Head origin. Nope. Oshun. Oshun down. Oshun. Shango. Yep. Oh, yeah, not so much. It's always Oshun and Shango. Oshun and Shango. They are so obsessed with them, but they don't realize that if you want to look at divination as a whole, Oshun is not the first. Okay? Not in the way that you think. I just told you who is a what, and I just told you that entity and energy is identified with feminine energy. Okay, so I want you to be aware. Before, you had Oshun who learned to manipulate, i.e., and communicate. Yes, Odu. So pay attention. So when I always tell you your Ori, and here's the point of me telling you this, your Ori is you. That's why we say Ori, Orisha. Your higher self is powerful. Your words and thoughts are powerful. You are powerful, even without all of the tools. Now, you go, if I'm powerful without all the tools, why do I still need it? Because you're still human and you still have a problem trusting yourself. And that is why you are to stay on track of your path. You have that flexibility to change the trajectory of what's going on. But if you're operating in fear or you're scared of what may happen, it is Ifa that helps you know, oh, I'm on the right path. And that's without having to necessarily go see psychics or intuitives, et cetera, et cetera. And let me explain. You can see, even now, you can get all the divinations and things, and you can see psychics, intuitives from this point. And peace, Uriah, it's good to see you. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless Ifa gives you a head up, cough, cough. Can't wait for this interview to not do that with certain people. Peace, Jay, it's good to see you. So I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. You can see them and get all the guidance you want, but some of you will go, oh, they said it, this must be true. Remember that they read energy. And Ian Vivian and I had this conversation recently. They read energy of a situation. By reading the energy of a situation, it says based on the choices and things that you're doing right now, this is your most likely outcome. Based on the people around and the choices that they're making, this is your most likely outcome. Ifa doesn't say based on the choices you are making, this is your most likely outcome. Ifa says based on the things that have already occurred, this is what's going to happen. But what we're doing is going to mitigate that, either help it not to happen, mitigate the impact if something happens, or make it happen for the better. Just depends on your situation and what you get that comes up. When people operate in the space of their Ori, they're less likely to have things that they have to mitigate. So when I keep telling you, you have the power to change whatever's going on, to understand whatever's going on, and to feel out how you feel about a certain situation or something you need to make choices when you don't work against yourself. And the only way not to work against yourself is for you to trust yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, you're going to constantly ask questions, have high anxiety, be on the edge. Because you're missing that sometimes your little voice in your head, right, is your higher self speaking to you, is your Ori speaking to you. It's not just a thought, it's your higher self in the realms around you, that energy around you, being like, okay, this is the deal. We know what we agreed to, and this is what you're supposed to be doing, and this will take you in that way. But then you go, I can't tell if it's myself or somebody else because it sounds like me talking. It may be you talking. And when you trust yourself, you'll know the difference between yourself or other energies or entities around you. The other thing is you're operating in a place of fear. If you don't listen to, I feel comfortable in this. Do you know what I asked her when she first started having intuitive experiences since she's like 1 or 2? And the ES have heard me say this 1,000 times. And those people who've gotten EBOs from us have heard me say it. I never ask her, was it a bad energy? Never ask her that. I always ask her, how did it make you feel? How did that energy or entity make you feel? How did it make you feel when you walked into that room or when you saw that thing or when you heard this message? The reason I ask that question, which is something you all need to ask yourselves, is because it establishes for her trust in herself. She doesn't have to operate from, I was scared because I felt this. I felt fine. I felt happy. And sometimes I will see some things, okay? And some of them things happen to be Egbe, showing themselves in all kind of different ways and just chilling. And mouths never move. She always hears them. So for me, it's like, well, did it scare you? And she's like, oh, no, it didn't really scare me. It's just I wasn't expecting them to look like that. And that's how she says it. Or Mom, I just didn't know, but I didn't feel bad. So now because she operates from that space of, it doesn't feel negative, she could see somebody with a head decapitated. Forgive me if two of you said something. Real talk. She could see somebody with no head, at a lower level energy that's stuck here going in a cycle, and it doesn't affect her because she's like, first, I'm powerful enough to tell them to go. Secondly, I may feel that, but it doesn't feel negative to me. So that same little bit of information and that same little bit of how do you feel? And you have to know that you're powerful enough to change something or have something go away. But it's that same power and self doubt that has you think negative things about yourself. Do you know sometimes in our, oh, do, excuse me, in your divination? Okay, here again. All right, pay attention. Sometimes you will see something that says to protect you from the negative thoughts from your enemies. And sometimes you will see it say to protect you from negative thoughts from yourself. I've had that come up in my divination this summer. So it's like negative thoughts of myself. Well, yeah, because at times I feel like I'm failing you all in what it is that I'm sharing or doing, or I'm not sharing enough. Or when I find out that I'm teaching you something and somebody's fallen by the wayside because I taught it, I'm like, okay, you're falling by the wayside, but you didn't follow what I told you. But did I teach it well enough? Did you retain it? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do to make sure you all are protected? Whether you get a divination from us or somewhere else, you should know that the processes are all the same. Okay? You will always know you're going to have a divination. You're going to have some sort of a crochet. That is, no matter what elay you're in, that is the process. When you don't see that stuff happening, did I fail you? Did I fail you in retaining this information? Right? Even when I talk to the other EI that you all see on Talkative, those that follow me over there. And if you don't, Lemonade 8, I'm going there too. I have an account up. You just need to follow it. Even in that, when I talked to her on live, I asked her, she's in a whole different ELA. They have a whole different, their new year is in August. Okay, not even the same new year. Her husband's ELA, though, new year is in June, which is the typical one that exists within the Odu. There's a reason the other one started, and maybe I'll speak about that some other time, respectfully. But I asked her, do you ever get a divination and not having a crochet? Do you ever not have a prescription for what's going on? She said no. So when your higher self tells you something's not right, or it's not looking right, or I need to follow something this way, or you hear things from people that you're learning from online, do the best that you can to try to mitigate the noise and follow what feels right to you. And if it doesn't feel right, leave it alone. If this isn't for you, don't do it. Some people just aren't meant to do it. Find what resonates with you. That's why people come and go. They're trying to figure out their life. And for those that initiate or get hand of Ifa, aka Shafa, or that follow certain practices a certain way, it will feel like home to them. And that's what matters. It doesn't, for us, it doesn't mean that everybody's wrong, because everybody can't be wrong. The tools can be proper. It's how the people use the tools. But every time I specify to you, well, the reason we don't do this way is because that's not us. That's not the tradition. That's not what's going on. So I'm hoping that by teaching you all, and I'm glad that you all have been watching the videos over and over again, and I only come on here with intention and purpose. I'm not coming on here to sell y'all shit. That's unnecessary. Money will come. People will come. Things will come. I'm coming on here so that you have this information along with the legacy that I'm trying to leave for Taiwo. And you could go back and watch it over and over again. That's why when I'm on the Talk and Tick, I'm like, oh, I got a video on that. I'll go watch a video. I don't come on here with a plan of, oh, I should talk about these things. When people speak to me and they say, yeah, I'd like you to do a video on so-and-so, or they send me a question, or as you know, if a situation happens in the moment of whatever, answering emails, et cetera, I come on here and share. It's why you don't see me on here a lot just hanging out anymore. And also I'm trying to keep the quality time with Taiwo together, okay? But life's, I want you to learn. And when I come on here, I want it to be with intent and purpose. And that's more important to me than getting some views. Now, I like the likes because it helps people find the content. And I know this by the data and the statistics of what they're looking for that I get as a report from the tube of you. So that's how I'm able to check it. Now, I did mention to the tube of you that I feel that they're suppressing some of the content itself, and a lot of that is because they don't know where to put me. I really don't have anything where I'm saying this is religious because I don't want to get in that algorithm. This I consider education. So sometimes I have it labeled as education. Other times I have it labeled as entertainment, depending on if we're doing after dark or something like that. Although we haven't done it in a minute. Don't worry, it's coming. Okay. So I say all that to say at some point, something in your chest will tell you it's not right. And another part of your ori that people don't know, and I'm going to say this in a general way, and those people who actually practice this tradition will understand. Your ori is not just in one location. And to all my initiates, you understand. Your ori is not just your head, it's your gut feeling, and it's the steps that you take. Okay? And when that makes sense, when that aligns for you, that you're like, oh, because you will always be directed in the direction you need to go. But when you constantly fight yourself and find yourself in pit holes, that means that you have gone against what your higher self desired for you. You don't need to beg for things. You need to walk in the elevation of the frequency of what it is that you want and who you are because you are divine. You are an Orisha. You made the decision to come here to learn and to help and grow. And the only way that you can do that is through the trials and tribulations and the things that you do with the choices that you make. How can you celebrate what being happy is if you've never had devastation? How can you appreciate the things to come if you never had disappointment? That is the whole purpose of this thing right here. Being initiated changes your life and the people around you by your essence in you. Does that mean you will not go through some ish? No, that doesn't mean that. You're still human. You're still going to have those things occur. What it does mean is that you know you're going to be okay. There's a different level of, I know we'll be all right. That's it. You still got to do the lesson, but now I'm not going to slip on the marbles. I'm going to have sense enough to walk around the marbles now. I see them on the floor because that kills me. This is how I feel sometimes when I'm talking to people or I'm watching them just totally cuff up their life like in real time. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I see the marbles on the floor. We were playing jacks earlier. Maybe I should pick them up. But I just think I should step on them. That's how I feel. Like, just step on them. Oh, and if I don't fall this time, that's good. Maybe I'll bust my ass next time. Okay. That's what I feel like. It is sometimes. We're like, come on. The jacks are on the floor, my G. Like, you don't want to bust your ass. But you still like, and then you're like, it doesn't feel good how it feels under my foot. But at least I did it. Ugh, you're killing me. All right. I'm done with that. You No, you're right. Don't feel it. I hope that helps whoever is watching this. I hope that it gives you a better understanding of that particular aspect. And when you see Ea Vivian making these shirts that says I am divine, or when she's posting some of her stuff, Divine by Design, and these are revelations she has had either on her own or in conversations with myself or others where it hit her where she needs to make something about that. What y'all don't know, and I don't know if you posted this on your site, is she prays as she makes every shirt or before she mails any package. She prays for whoever the receiver is and that it protects and helps them. Who do that? Okay? When she feels a movement to put something, she's like, boom. Or when I send her some random message that's like, this would be good on something. And why does she do that? You don't have to practice, Ishay. It's because she knows you need it. It just hits her in her spirit. You know why? Because she began to trust her Ori. Because she is divine. Y'all hear me? And even the new EIs and stuff, I know sometimes they're like, when someone says pray for me, they may not understand the capacity in which you're going to be on your knees praying to Ifa for them. They may not understand that capacity, but they know that when you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And you're gonna mean it. Even if you don't know them well, that it's not gonna be an empty prayer. You know why? Because there's sacrifice involved. Come on. And what is your sacrifice typically? Gin, palm oil, cola, bitter cola, whatever is required. They gave a sacrifice for you. You may see it as many, but they went to their own telephone line and they didn't have to go through the operator. And they were like, you know what? Let me go ahead and handle this for you and I'm going to pay for it for you. You know how many times I have to call and say, who has this energy when I can't get to Olu fast enough because we have some sort of crisis or something going on? And I'm like, okay, who has this one? So, yeah, Vivian, can you please do such and such for somebody? And they didn't get a divination from us. You know why? It's because our Ori has guided us to be exactly that, what we need to be for those individuals who may not know us from a can of paint. I have people that send me messages that I've never seen them chatting here before, but they've watched. And they're like, I just want you to pray for me on this. Or I just want you to do X, Y, Z. And it's just because. And then on top of that, my Christian mother will pray for you if she know my name or I say something was going on and she's like, okay, I got you. She'll take it to Jesus for you anyway. She don't care. She's like, did y'all do what you supposed to do? Because right now I got Yamaja and Ifa in the room. Ibeji coming because Tabo left the Beji. But we bringing the Beji because I asked Ifa could I bring them to the house. And right over there is a bottle of gin. And right on the other side are bananas and water. And I've been a spraying in the living room right next to the Christmas tree. Okay? You know why? Because it doesn't matter. Because when my higher self leads me to get on my knees and bow my head for whoever, whenever, for anybody going through anything, even when I pray ahead of time before these videos, that's exactly what I'll do. And you know what? I know it shall be done. Ashe, oh, Ashe, wa. All right. I'm done. Come on, 32 minutes. Come on. Y'all have questions? Because you know, when I come on here, it's with intent and purpose. And again, I hope by all the Irumule and the Orishas divined by Olodumare, that whoever watches this and sees this, that they get what they need at the time that they need it, that it heals them from a place that they didn't know they needed healing from, and that they begin to trust themselves so that they can stop doubting themselves and change the trajectory of their life and whatever it is that they do, that they walk in gratitude, that they walk in happiness, and that they walk in pure peace and faith. Ashe. Oh. Okay, I'm done. I'm done praying my face off. Okay, against South Carolina State, all right. Even though they sucked and failed so bad at this football game that my father drove all the way to Atlanta for just to watch them lose after they just kicked some behind the week before. Oh, thank you, Jaquetta. Excuse me, respectfully. Iyanifa Jaquetta, she earned that, okay? She earned it. Go on. She earned it. Come on, Emmanuel. What does your spirit say? Jamboree. It is my pleasure. I'm laughing at Ia Jaquetta. Come on, Ia Regina. Hey, come on, Alethea. You let me call it you Alethea for a whole hour and something in our consultation the other day. And it was only when we did your elbow that I knew that I was saying it wrong. Correct me next time. Okay. And y'all can thank again me putting on clothes because I've been chilling in the sweatpants. Okay, Taiwo has been chilling in the chill out clothes. Some of her holiday clothes that were gifted to her early. Been chilling, and I put on clothes for y'all because I had to go do work this morning. This felt like an out of body experience. It's a cool way. Oh, that's good. That means your frequency is elevating. You needed that food. Oh, don't cry, Mila. Unless it's going to be a release in order to heal you and one of joy, then cry. Outside of that, girl, sometimes though you got to cry when you're angry, mad, sad, and get it out. Jay, Jay, I know you're cracking up. I can hear you for real. And Baba Reggie, I can see your face. Alua asked me about you today. You know who I said? Babysitter asked me about you. Alua asked me about you. Somebody else asked me about you. The babysitter asked me about you a little while ago, but I forgot to message to tell you. I didn't. Oh, no worries. Oh, thank you, Emmanuel. And I appreciate you. We gotta go tell Taiwo I did it. Because Taiwo will be making infinity symbols. Bless our heart. All right, I'm glad this is here. I'm gonna take me and my too long hair out of here. I actually had it twisted out, laying it down, and then I couldn't take it. I had to wet it a little bit. So you're getting shaggy sheep today because I'm trying to make it to the summer. To see if I'm gonna let it get here. I'm trying, even though my whole spirit wants to be bald. Bald is sexy. Okay. Oh, thank you, Reggie. He thinks about you because you're number one, number one, number one. So he talks and asks me how you doing. I told him that you're waiting on me to do your interview. So, Babalao Reggie. And let me tell you what I'm excited about for your interview, and then y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go if there are no questions. I'm excited for you to talk about your journey, maybe not in detail, but through different practices that led you to Ifa. Because when you go into study really quickly, really fast. And I think it's interesting because being with us is teaching you a little bit of patience because you learn a little bit and then you got to sit on that for a little while. Then you got to learn something else and sit on that for a little while. And the little while seems like forever, but there's a reason we make you wait. And the EAs have experienced why they're not learning a whole bunch of stuff at one time because they need time to figure themselves out. And then, life's around you. And what ends up happening is you really got to say, okay, is this working for me? And you can't validate that it works until some BS hits the fan and you realize the peace that you have and then it works out in your favor. Does that make sense? And sometimes it takes you're like, this is so simple. All I have to do is this thing. Because people obsess over being able to do a whole bunch of magical stuff at one time. And it's unnecessary. And it's unnecessary because of your Ori. So I can't wait to do a call with everybody just to hear an update, most likely right after the new year, of all the crap that hit the fan and then how it came out and what happened when you took it to your Ifa, because I'm sure it'll happen. Unless you're somebody like respectfully, Iyanifa Dasumo. And for those of you who don't know, that's her Ifa name, also an energy. And you can't Google that and learn much about. Okay? But something hits her and then she sending me a voice note in 5 seconds, but it ends up being a lesson for everybody else. Any advice on how to trust your Ori when you're neurodivergent? Yeah. Which is so funny. I do. So even in your diagnosis of yourself, whether it be self or anything, I want you to pay attention to, because certain cues you may not get, but you still get a feeling in your chest, right? Your heart races, something changes, your breathing changes. Those things for you then alert you to what you may hear or feel. So you may not see the social cues or get the social cues in that way, but your body will respond accordingly. And when you say your prayers in general to yourself, because again, people always beg in prayer. You don't need to beg in prayer. Give thanks in prayer and be happy that you know what you're asking for is going to come your way. Even in doing that, you can change how you perceive things around you, all because you are now conscious that this is something that you're doing. Peace. I hope that makes sense, Ladria. I hope you understand how I'm saying it. Yes. Oh, Nia. It's someone who may have an issue identifying emotional cues from themselves or others. So Uh, they're not always necessarily on the spectrum of autism, although you may be more familiar with people who are autistic and they may not either want to be touched or, yeah, or they may not want to do certain things. Correct. It's about how you feel. Because that is something that will always remain the same, how it makes you feel. So, and Uriah, thank you. And Uriah can speak to that for other reasons, but that's how I can describe it to you so that you are on here. And if asking because I had the feeling really torn in my spiritual understanding experiences, I will say this. When you come to an understanding of what you resonate with, that will be the main practice for you. For instance, there's no way that I would say, like, for instance, if I wanted to practice Isheshe in Hinduism, I can't do it. If I want to practice Isheshe in Hoodoo, I can do that. If I want to, and I hope you're getting the understanding. And the reason I can't, there's no conflict of interest in my soul and my spirit because of what resonates with me completely. So if you feel that you need to be somewhere else because that resonates for you, then that's where you need to be. But if I want to practice Isheshe and do tarot cards, I can do it. Yes. Well, no, because some people with ADHD can not be neurodivergent because that's more about your mind and how you process things. And it's not necessarily your feelings. So, no, not necessarily. You need to go to Reddit, and that would help you. I'm not even going to tell you Google. Reddit would probably be better. So, Emmanuel, do you understand my response to that? And as for you being torn in your spiritual understanding and experiences, it's natural. It's okay. You can still have an interest in one and do the other, but it's about where you feel you're going to get your answers from. So if you're uncertain, then be uncertain. Sit in that for a while. At some point, you're going to pull the curtain back and remove like the blinds that you have right now, and it'll happen. And then you'll go, this is it. It does not have to be Shay Shay. But I tell you that all the time. You could be just like some of them pastors and stuff and come right over here and get whatever and then go where you want to be. But if you're going to go all in, you won't question going all in because it'll just happen. Case in point, Baba Reggie, am I wrong in saying out of all the things that you have studied and when it just hits you where you like, this is it, there was no mixing of this is it. And his last form of study has been over 20 years straight. So I'm going to see if he types his response there. Like, that's it. But there are some people, okay, there are some people that think this is it. And then because they don't trust themselves, they end up screwing up themselves in the end. And that's because they've been used to making wrong decisions that when they finally make the right decision, it feels wrong. And you know it's the right decision because you see the trajectory of your life and you see the changes. But you're not used to having support. You're not used to people telling you you'll be okay. And you're not used to it being so simple because you're looking for guidelines and structure that is so strict that unless you feel like you're being abused in some sort of way, you're like, I'm going crazy. I know, Ia Jaquetta. It's because you have been taught that nothing that you do on your own is right unless there's this person that is supposed to be above you, raining down the reins on you, which is why it becomes so hard to learn to do it without somebody above you pounding in your head. It is because Ifa is not about that pounding. Ifa is about your self growth. Ifa is about the balance within your life. And it's hard to find balance if you don't know who you are to be balanced, because someone always tells you how to be. Someone always gives you the rules. Someone always sends you a book. Someone always says this is what it's supposed to be. Funny thing is, when I do talk or have talks with you all offline, you'll understand that we have a hierarchy of respect. Everybody has experienced while we were there being bowed to by an elder and us bowing to an elder. And that respect comes within the tradition of the Yoruba people themselves of how they see each other. And that's weird for us because we're like, why do people bow to us? We don't bow to nobody, because we're taught that that's negative and bad. But nobody taught you why that's considered negative and bad, because it was a way to control you by saying that's not what you're supposed to be, because unless I'm your master, you don't bow to me. But if I just told you that you are your higher self, your Ori is an Orisha, is a higher being, why would you not feel privileged to be bowed to, or vice versa? Yeah, that's and my pleasure. So even in that structure you're looking for is like abuse. Honestly, you're looking for something that doesn't need to exist, because we don't come from a space that you're automatically a bad person that needs to be better. You're already a good person that just needs to stay consistent to see the goodness and reap the benefits of the lessons that you're learning. And once you realize that, you won't operate in a space of nobody's telling me what to do or how to do it and I don't get it. Trust me, we gonna get this language down, and then y'all are gonna be. If any of y'all surpass me on speaking Yoruba fluently, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna just let you know, and then I'm gonna blame Alu because babysitter and then be blaming him all the time for me. Why didn't you force her? And he's like, because she understands the concepts the way she wants to understand them. We'll get to the other things, but I'm just letting you know, because I don't want to tonal mess up nothing. I'm editing my mind and my mouth. Y'all felt what was coming out of the spirit. Okay? I'm not. If I'm going to teach you something, it's going to be right. We're going to have them private butcher up the language. so, so I'm letting you know right now. But I'll teach you what they're saying so you understand it and then you know what's going on. But if we're going to butcher, we're going to butcher it up right. Okay? And you know they'll correct you and help you. Y'all know. But I'm just letting you know there's no need to do all of that if you can't feel that here and here. If your mind can't resonate with your heart and you're not okay with you're a good person, you're powerful, you can do things on your own, then I'm going to tell you. Because manifestation of what you want has nothing to do with lighting the candle or saying the thing. Manifestation of what you want has everything to do with who you are and how you walk in this world and what plane you choose to walk on. Not everybody is meant to walk on an elevated plane. People can only pretend but so long. And after they're done pretending, their true self comes out. And then it's not that you see their failures, you see their weakness because they weren't strong enough to hold fast to who they were becoming and who they are. That's it. I love y'all to life. You know, I can't keep this an hour because people will talk about me having this thing on long. Watch it on 2 times the speed, genius. Okay? Live your life. Correct. It's still you. It's still you. So, love y'all to life. I'll catch y'all some other time. Thank you for the likes. And peace. I'll start putting how to get a divination and stuff back in my description. That should tell y'all how I don't care. I don't even know the last maybe 5 videos. So I don't think I put that thing there. I didn't go back and edit nothing. Whatever the description was or was not, that's what it was. I put some hashtags. But whoever finds it, we'll find it. All right. It's our pleasure. And peace out. Peace.